There is one feature that I've been waiting for in a tripod, and now I finally have it. It's not carbon fiber legs or quality ball head or removable center column. Those are nice to have, but the Smallrig AD50 has one game-changing feature, and that is the leveling bowl. Coming from a photography perspective, you might not think this is super revolutionary, but I can tell you it is super important when it comes to video. Stick around because I'll be explaining why this one feature is so important, as well as some other features about this tripod that stand out. I'll also talk through some pros and cons and compare this to other tripods that I use regularly. My name is Mark Bergering, and I do photography gear reviews alongside my wife Brenda's photography tips here on our YouTube channel. Hit subscribe, it helps us out. All right, full transparency, Smallrig did send me this tripod, but I told them I would not do a review unless I liked it, and they wouldn't get any input on this review. So take that for what it is. Honestly, I'd been shopping for a tripod with a bowl head, and I couldn't find anything reasonably priced. So when they reached out, I wanted to check this one out. This tripod costs around 170 bucks for the carbon fiber version and 100 bucks for the aluminum version. It really feels like an attainable price point for my budget and hopefully yours. All right, so let's talk features and specs. The main feature is, as I mentioned, that leveling bowl, which allows you to get straight video and not have to adjust the legs every time you want to do a nice level pan and tilt shot. In terms of build quality, for 170 bucks, it's quite well built. I haven't had it that long, so I haven't tested it super thoroughly, but overall, I think it feels really well built especially for the price. The weight is around 6 pounds and it extends up to 64 inches, which is adequate for my usage. The legs have two extending sections, one here and one here, and rubber feet as well as spikes if you twist these in. The fluid head is not super high end, but it feels adequate for what I need, and it's a lot nicer than the cheap fluid head I was using previously. Load capacity for this thing is around 13 pounds. That works well for any mirrorless setup, especially, a lighter weight Sony camera, even if you're using a heavy zoom lens. In terms of portability, definitely not a backpacking tripod, but it's not excessively heavy either. When it comes to setup and functionality, I love how simple it is. The twist lock is only a half a twist, and the legs can be adjusted easily. The controls up top are pretty basic. If you're familiar with any other tripod, they'll be pretty easy to use. Overall, the functionality of this tripod is great. I've used it on a handful of shoots, and it's worked really well. Here, I'll show you a little bit of performance in terms of how the ball head functions and the smoothness and precision of movements, but the fluid head works well for me. Okay, so let's talk some pros and cons. Pros, leveling bowl, it's awesome. Solid build quality and value, I would say, is excellent, especially for the price. You're not gonna find a lot of options with this bowl head design. Cons, it's a little heavy, it's a little bulky. The fluid head isn't the nicest I've ever used, but I didn't want to pay more for a higher quality fluid head. They could have made this tripod nicer, but it would have cost more and it wouldn't really fit what I'm looking for in terms of value. I'm always looking for the right balance of price and quality. If you haven't already, check out my money and gear guide at bergeringphotography.com/money. Has a lot of helpful tips that I think you might find useful. All right, let's do a quick comparison to the other tripods that I currently have and use. I've got my travel tripod, which is nice and compact and lightweight. I've got my standard photo tripod that I use on most jobs. It's nice and tall, much taller than this one. And now I've got the AD50, which replaces my old video tripod that I'm filming this on. Love the leveling bowl. It's easy to use, quick to use, and it works great. The main thing to decide is if you want a video specific tripod. Both of these are photo tripods. You can see by the ball head up top, but for video, you're gonna want a fluid head because that allows you to pan and tilt and get nice level shots. I would say the AD50 is perfect for people who want a fast setup tripod and don't have a huge budget. To summarize, the combination of the leveling bowl and the inexpensive price point make this a great option for people who want to capture smooth video, whether that's for YouTube videos or commercial projects. I think this is a great option. If you want to check out the Smallrig AD50, head down to the link in the description. I'll have a product link there. If you have any questions or comments about this tripod or any other tripod in general, head down below. I'll be sure to respond to all those comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, as my next video will be about how to choose a tripod. I know I covered that briefly, but I'm going to go into more detail on finding a tripod that fits your style and budget. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, check out this video on my recommendation for the best camera under $1,000. I will see you in that video.